Tempting her against the curse. Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. Curse is just biding its time. I don't know why the bookstore hasn't gone bankrupt yet. That's what I'm here to investigate.
All right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in racks? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
And the whirling is part of the doomed commercial area. Whirling isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off, and customers have trouble paying their bills.
And then there is me.
Clients looking at a messy work table, all kinds of tools, like that scattered from knives to carving files to wire
I've been
cutters.
here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
It's because you're competent and dedicated to your craft. The curse doesn't affect people like you. The curse will get to you. I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in the
I
secret.
was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
It still might be you that's causing this. I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Honestly, I'm still not sure.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we could see.
Okay, what do you know about the man who was lynched behind the Welling
Nothing
Rocks?
really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
And you never took your eyes off the work to look out the window.
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard.
Just to try and come up with an
During
example.
daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it. And I prefer doing this to sitting at home. I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Why hasn't her business
More
failed?
or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemidep's boxing club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime. A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym as his way of giving back. It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
You
That
should have
means
known it. It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
um
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff medias. Who would have guessed?
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway, and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. It's a sub rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world. What does she mean to get off on it?
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
They make stuffed animals. I saw monks lying around. I found creepy mannequins. Ones with the rotor blades and skis. I found a strange machine. There was a terrifying taxidermed bear in the cellar.
Boy, the fabled Revo Show ICT. You're in for a treat here.
I was on his close hands on her knees like a stand-up comedian
The
ready to
place
tell a
was
story.
owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
Alright, what about the other
There
ideas?
was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Fritta does the same thing.
Our girl just like that. She works in free as a cashier and she's not particularly friendly. I don't have an opinion on...
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Ravishow ICT. And they already had the bear.
The rise as if remembering something painful. What about the bear?
Bear.
Putting thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache.
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Ravishow ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't doing his best, I mean. He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Sounds cool.
Megatherion, a mega wild beast. It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
A wise and noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved with drugs.
I don't have a comment.
Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all.
Exactly.
Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. Anything else? Another failed business?
Did someone here make
I've
stuffed
been here
animals?
for a long time.
What's with the rotor blades?
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit.
I have
What else?
more questions about the building. I think that's all for now. Oh, I've got another bloop bloop bloop. Sunlight has made this postcard almost completely separate. The Hanged Man. We found her. I think we found a justification behind all of this Malagan jargon anyway. I'm bouncing off the walls again. Whoa, whoa. There's a lot going on in this place, though, isn't there? Through there. And through there. And then through there. Closed for the night. Oh, you rats. You absolute rat biscuits. I think we had a good little look round, though. I mean, that's a development, isn't it? Do 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 do. Whoa! He's still there. Give you a try again.
There he still is, looking right through you. As you breathe in, the odor comes over you. It's a spell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your hands at your sides and your eyes squinting, you stand in it. It's a puzzle. What's hanging in front of you is a puzzle of decaying flesh, tattoos, and tendons.
They always do that.
Debut after 7 days, yes. We are deep in decomposition here.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enameled boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins, and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength. The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them.
Sorry, buddy.
And fragile. They feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
It's not just boots. Are they? They're
Indeed.
armor.
Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots.
Oh, the lieutenant uses a memo technique A6. That's not just any notebook. It's a classic. It's all you, baby.
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be. Under the hill. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
Material looks out of place here.
It is. It's expensive.
And the condensation on the ceramic.
We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics. For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
For the
4 years.
northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real, unadjusted for rank.
Not too much, yes.
Thick, into hustle more and hate late.
It's a sorry situation, I agree.
Happened to the rest of it.
The locals probably scavenged it. It would be odd if he had more arm after 7 days. We should keep a lookout for these species. The armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know.
Maybe he was just wearing these boots and there is no rest in
No,
them.
I think he had something precious underneath the clothes. They had to remove the jeans and shirt we found to get to it. And this kind of armor is often worn under fabrics.
Nice. That makes sense.
What if they told him to strip before they hung him to demean him? He could have been walking around naked.
They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta madre, the Mazda, the Besmerties, and the like. This one still has his underpants.
Fucking talking about underpants.
Clearly, Kuno would like to interject something here, but there's not enough for him to hold on to.
How could this man afford such expensive hardware?
That's for us to find out. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the harbor company. This confirms my own assumptions.
These look pretty advanced for a security guard.
I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate, dissipating it entirely.
That's
See?
the boots.
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them altogether.
Oh, I'm going to steal them.
Rows of floorboards. The design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps. If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-sections would look like.
Run your finger
A
over the line.
smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right sabaton, where you notice the whorls are in the shape of a letter and number combination: E50, 100,
Looks like this.
1000.
Serial number.
Can you read it to me?
Tips the drawing ball pen.
X5415 6745 678222. Let's lie.
We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
The stench fills your nostrils. As you push downward, an ominous creaking sound comes from above.
Stop!
See you with the boot under your arm.
You're gonna pull his head off.
Rachel!
You're about to pull his head off.
Do it, Homo!
Yes, that's what I say. You'll compromise the coroner's case if you do. So please, don't.
Indeed, from this angle, it does look like the neck isn't going to take much more. Being dead for a week has all but liquefied his muscles.
What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot?
I'm sorry, I didn't even want to take them.
How many clues do you need? You already found a number. Besides, there's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots. They are fused to his feet now. Why do you think the locals haven't scavenged them yet?
You're sure there's a way to peel them off, but first the body needs to be down. And second, it would probably be better if the lieutenant wasn't around. The anticipation makes you crack your fingers. Feels nice. Nice and cracky.
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will yield nothing. But we must pick our fights. Should we continue?
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue. The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under six-rotor airships.
That must be how I know, but this is a lashing belt used for airlifting.
Airlifting. I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them.
My brain tells me so.
The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves.
You sure I wanted him to stay up there? The rope is reinforced with steel wiring.
I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed. A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around.
Onto the buckle, turn the belt to the branch above.
That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory.
The brief suggested as much, politically motivated by the ongoing strike. Did you not get a briefing? Then you should ask me the first moment we get.
The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos. An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart.
No nation that I know of. If anything, it reminds me of religious illumination, last or penultimate century. Men who live harsh lives often turn to innocentic worship. But which one? I see no trace of a humanoid figure.
A certain ring fills the air as the lieutenant pulls down the zipper of his orange jacket.
He wears a wide leather belt around his waist and a gun holster under his arm.